Welcome to another video, the same every time, GCSE Maths, looking at the kinds of questions that apart from the numbers are the same every time. Learn how to do them. Get yourself into the marks, get yourself into the grades. We're looking at Pythagoras Theorem, how to use Pythagoras Theorem to find the missing side in a right-angled triangle. Couple of things to remember before we start with this. How do we know that a question is going to be a Pythagoras Theorem question? Well, first of all, does it have a right-angled triangle in the question? Look at my picture. Yes, it does have a right-angled triangle. And secondly, are they asking you to find a missing side? Yes, they are. So it could be Pythagoras. Thirdly, are they giving you two of the other sides? So if it's a right-angled triangle, they give you two sides and they ask you to find one of the other sides, then it is a Pythagoras Theorem question. Now, Pythagoras Theorem is often presented as more complicated to do than it really is. You might have seen Pythagoras Theorem presented as a formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Then what do you have to do? Identify the sides A, B, C, substitute numbers into the formula, then rearrange. It's not an easy formula to rearrange. That's actually quite a complicated method. We can make Pythagoras Theorem a whole lot easier by looking at it in a slightly different way. When you look at your question for Pythagoras Theorem, you just have to ask yourself this. You have to ask yourself, am I finding the longest side or am I finding one of the shorter sides? Now, the longest side in a right-angled triangle is always the side that is opposite the right angle. So there's the right angle, and the side that is opposite the right angle is always the longest side. So if they are asking you to find the longest side, then all you have to do is this. All right, so are they asking you to find the longest side? I'll write all this down. If they're asking you to find the longest side, all you have to do is you need to square, add, and square root. We'll obviously look at some examples later, but remember that. If you're finding the longest side, square, add, square root. Now, the only other possibility in a Pythagoras Theorem question is that they are asking you to find one of the shorter sides. Now, the shorter sides are basically just the other two sides, either that side or that side. They would be the shorter sides. And if you are finding one of the shorter sides, so if you're finding one of the shorter sides, then what you need to do is square, subtract. So there's the difference between longest side and shortest side, and square root. So square, subtract, square root if you are finding one of the shorter sides. Now we'll look at this example and you'll see what I'm trying to tell you. So in this side we are finding the longest side, the side from A to C. It's the side opposite the right angle. It's the longest side. So if we're finding the longest side, all we need to do is square, add, square root. Now when I say square, we take that side, 2.5, we square. We take this side, 4.1, we square. We add, we square root. That's it. Now it's a calculator job. So square, add, square root. Just make sure you can do this. Type it into your calculator exactly as it looks. So square root button, then 2.5 squared plus 4.1 squared equals, okay, I've got for my full calculator answer 4.80282 881. And if I was doing this on an exam, I would certainly write down my method, the square, square, add, square root. I would probably also write down my full calculator answer. Now, this question is not telling me to give my answer to any degree of accuracy, any particular degree of accuracy. On some exam papers, on the front of the paper, it tells you to round non-exact answers to, for example, 3 significant figures, or angles in degrees to 1 decimal place. So that's what I'll do, but I've written down my full calculator answer here, but I'm going to leave my final answer, I'm going to round it to 3 significant figures, so 4.80 centimeters, 3 significant figures. By writing down my working out and my full calculator answer and my rounding, I think I've covered myself for getting the full marks there. But the important thing about this question, Pythagoras Theorem, maybe it's a lot easier than you think. Square, square, add, square root if you're finding the longest side. Square, square, subtract, square root if you're finding one of the shorter sides. And we'll look at some examples of those in the next few videos. If this video was useful to you, then please do press the like button and press the subscribe button as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will return in the next video.